Hello and welcome to the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. I'm Jared and with me is Holly. And today we are reviewing Don't Go In There. Spooky, right? So yeah, as we're looking into scary or spooky games to play during the Halloween October season, Don't Go In There came up on our list of wanting to play and check out, and there's a lot to this. And it's a small box.
Yeah.
But check this out. You open it up and it becomes a dice tower. And on the actual insert that you use to store all the cards and components, once you take that out, you put the insert back in and it becomes where you roll the dice, so it does its thing like a dice tower. And you get to see the dice rolling through the windows. Like, there's a lot of love put into the design of this game.
And they glow.
And they glow. So the dice are ghost faces.
Yes.
And it's like you either rolled the ghost or you didn't. And there's different faces, but that doesn't matter. It's just, did you roll the face or not?
But sometimes you don't have to collect all the ghosts that you rolled because you landed on enough flashlights.
Yep. And I just got to start with I got to gush. The artwork and how the presentation of this box and the gameplay, synergy is great. This is well done. I've not seen many games do it quite this efficiently as Don't Go In There does. But how's the gameplay? Well, it's 2 to 5 players and plays in about 45 minutes, maybe. Would you say? Maybe less?
We were doing it wrong for a little bit when we played it, right? Yeah, maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah. So essentially you get a deck of cards built of different curses, and the number of curses or curse types that you're going to put in your game is dependent on player count. And since there's a lot of different curse type cards, you can mix and match, your favorites, or kind of randomize the ones that you use in the deck you play for that game. So that definitely enhances a lot of replayability to know, sometimes you're going to see some curse types and others you're going to see new ones. And then there's dice rolls, which it's not really, you're really hoping that the dice don't pop up with anything, because throughout this game, I guess I'll back up to the theme here. You're exploring, a haunted house.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't want to go in there because it's haunted. There's curses. There's
we're going
ghosts.
To different rooms, yeah.
And so we're exploring one of 3 different rooms at a time. And then once we resolve a room, it flips over, becomes a different room so that people can go to. 3 meeples can go in any one of these rooms, and then it resolves.
And based on your turn order on the card, if you want to go first, then you have to be brave and not get any light to go with you. And then you'll take in all of the ghosts, which will then count against you.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're cool with going last and selecting the last choice of the cards, you can get potentially more flashlights to fight off ghosts.
Yes. And so there's 3 curse cards that come out for each room, and usually you get to see what all 3 of them are. And I say usually because there's special rooms rules that sometimes they're hidden, or one of them's hidden.
Those are neat too.
I do like the variation. The room abilities are really, really cool. But yeah, once 3 meeples are placed on it, it could be yours multiple times, really, if you wanted.
Yeah.
And based on your position on that room, you're going to have a certain number of flashlights awarded to you to ward off any ghosts that get rolled. Well, how many dice you roll is based on the curse cards. Mm-hmm. One of the things one of the icons shown on each curse card is 0, 1, or 2 ghost dice. Mm-hmm. And so from the 3, you add those up and you roll them in the tower. And however many ghosts come out, everybody in that room has to deal with collecting ghosts. And like you said, for each flashlight, that's 1 less ghost that you have to take. And then from turn order on that room from top to bottom, you get to choose one of those cards to collect. And you have to collect curse cards, and they are not good to have, but what makes them unique is when you collect them, they often have abilities when you get multiples of the same one. or in the case of like the twins curse, if you get both twin cards that match each other.
Identical twins, not fraternal.
Right, identical ones, those can do a special ability and flip over. So there's ways to basically flip over and negate the curse if you get the right matching ones of the same kind of curse.
It does different things. There is one that will let you cut down half your ghosts. There's one that will let you get rid of everyone but that one card.
Yeah. I had that, which was, I think, the Black Cat curse.
Yes, that's what it was. I couldn't remember.
And
I thought it was a spider.
Yeah, you get to keep, or you get to get rid of all the cat cards that you've collected except for one, as long as the total ghosts that you have at the end of the game is less than 7, I think.
I think it was 7, yeah.
So,
maybe 6.
And like you said, you're collecting these ghosts. You've got a player screen to hide, what you're collecting, because one of the main features here is if you have the most ghosts, then you're going to score a lot of negative points for having them.
There is also a card that will let you pass ghosts to another player.
I think it was like the mask of some sort.
Some kind of mask.
And yeah, if you get, every time you collect that curse card for each mask that you have, you get to move that many ghosts to the next player. And so there's ways to pass your collection along. And that's pretty funny and fun. And it doesn't feel... It's like opposite of what other take that games do, where you're trying to like tear down what someone's doing, whereas this, you're just like, well, I've messed up and now I can do something about it, and I'm going to give it to someone else. And I think that's kind of a fun way to,
It feels less targeted and more like a result of consequence, like a result of chance. Like, oh, well, this was the last card left. I'm sorry, bro,
Right. Because you have to resolve, the card you collect. And most of them have an effect right when you take them. Some of them have an effect at the end. And then there's like the grandfather clock. And if you're like the first to get a certain number, then
8, I believe.
Yeah, then you can flip yours over and everyone else has to keep them. So essentially you're trying to, in the game by getting through all the deck, and then whoever has like the least amount of curse points wins. And like I said, the ghosts, which are their own tokens, if you've gotten the most ghosts, that's bad. That's going to give you a lot of negative points added to your score. So you want to keep that in check and also start focusing on, collecting multiples of the same kinds of curses. So as the game proceeds, it gets more and more interesting because all the cards that you have that you've collected are sitting there in front of you. So everybody tends to know what you're going for, which is a cool concept because in other games, you don't necessarily know what people are going to go for scoring. And this one, everyone knows what you're going for to not score those points. Mm-hmm. So there's these incentives and disincentives to go to certain rooms or to be first to pick something, even if you're like to hate draft and like choose a card that someone wanted so that it prevents them from getting the benefit. There's a lot to like here, and it's not a very complicated game. It's pretty straightforward. I would say it's lightweight. And I know it looks and uses the dice tower, but it's primarily not a dice rolling game. It's primarily you place your worker and collect cards, so it's a set collection primarily, and then the dice just kind of happens when you have to avoid the ghosts.
Okay, but the artwork though.
Yes.
The artwork is amazing.
Yeah.
I really dig. It's very creepy.
And the cards, the box, the cards, all the art, well done.
Yes.
It's a game that when you show it to someone and you open it and you're like, guess what? And then they look at it and they're like, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. I think it's a really fun game.
I liked it too.
I'm definitely keeping it, especially to play during, Halloween horror nights and stuff like that. Because it is fairly, easy to play and it's not complicated. It doesn't take long. You could play this, waiting for the pizza to arrive for your horror movie to start and get everyone into the mood. But it's still, it's got that theme to it. But it's not a very like overly dramatic. It doesn't take itself very seriously.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to like here, and I'm not sure the age recommendation. It says 14 and up, but I think most people could play that no problem. So that's my thoughts. Anything?
I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Well, there you go. Don't go in there. This is, yep, there you go. Don't go in there. Check it out. Thanks for watching. I've been Jared.
I'm Holly.
Bye.